Where to start? So, Joaquin Torres, it, it, it's been a long time since I've been really disappointed or underwhelmed by a week's card. And it's been, I can't tell you how long since I've been underwhelmed by both cards at the start of a season. Um, but Bounce isn't good. Bounce isn't good. Agent Venom made Bounce fun for some people for a little bit, you know? But even then, it was like, I don't know. I didn't care for Agent Venom. And then he got hit almost immediately, which really tells you that the devs don't want Bounce being an archetype. They don't. They want Bounce cards in the game. They want you to have the ability to bounce stuff back. They want you to sprinkle in a beast here or a toxin there, but they don't want you to actually bounce as an archetype, as a whole thing to do. Because if they did, they wouldn't have nerfed every single bounce card. Everyone. Kitty Pryde, Angela, and then they raised the floor, lower the ceiling, and neutered all of it across the board. So even if you dropped, let's say you get 4 demons in a lane, that's only 24 power, where Surtur is dropping 20 to 30 power across the board anywhere they want to last turn. And then they can drop a Cosmo to keep you from doing what you want to do, and you're effed. You're effed. And then they use things like Eliath and Magneto and Arrow and these cards that just disrupt your game plan, and they can do it because they have priorities. So it's just, and that's just one archetype. You're certainly not beating a negative deck. You're not beating a Tribunal deck. You're not beating a Dokken deck. So what is Bounce beating? I mean, it's not even beating a Zoo deck. A Zoo deck with the nuts, all the pieces lined up in a row. So Bounce is not an archetype. It's not. And that makes Joaquin Torres not a good card. Now, you can probably pepper it in Darkhawk or something, but there's nothing really that you want to be playing after turn 4 as far as 1-drop on reveals go. And really, as far as 1-drops go, you're not trying to play them after turn 3. On turn 4 or later, you're not. So, and then moving on to Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson suffers from being a good card in ongoing if you get him. And I played a lot of decks with Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers. And the reason I was playing them together is because I'm trying to maximize the value, right? So I could bounce it back and forth between each other, or I could bounce the shield in and out of the lane that they're in together, things like that. But I just wasn't drawing Sam Wilson. I wasn't. I couldn't draw Sam for the life of me. And when I did, it's like, okay, but there's always something else I'd rather be playing at this moment. Because now it's past turn 2. And that's it. You want to play Sam on turn 2, Cap on turn 3. And I drew Cap most games. And I have this theory. So I have the wide theory that you face decks based on what deck you're playing. And you can't convince me otherwise. You can't. Because for the last hour of the season, right before season turnover, I switched to, I put together a Surfer deck. And then I played it about 20 minutes. And lo and behold, I'm facing Surfer, which I hadn't faced all season long. I'm facing just decks that I hadn't faced all season long. Like, I'm telling you, I play this game more than most. I put in hours a day on this game. You're telling me I never faced Surfer until I switched to Surfer, and this happens all the time. I'll switch a card in a deck, and the whole RNG of a deck will change. There's certain cards I won't play just because the RNG on them are so bad. And I have this theory that Second Dinner, one of the secret balances that they do is RNG on cards. The rate at which you draw them, et cetera, et cetera. And if you think they can't do it, they definitely can do it. Now, that's just a little conspiracy theory I have. Whether it holds any water is up to you, but I'll tell you, Sam Wilson was that. And why Sam Wilson would be one that would have lower odds of being drawn, I don't know. And maybe there's people who drew him every game, and they're super happy with him, and they'll tell you that he's the best card of the week, and blah, blah, blah. But Sam Wilson, unless you draw him and play him on turn 2, is not a card worth having in your deck. And you cannot predict that that's going to happen. He is right up there with Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner and Sam Wilson will go into a pile together of cards that never get played. Because why would you play either of those two cards? Why would you play Sam Wilson when you got Thea? Why would you play Sam Wilson when you got Iron Patriot? Why would you play Sam Wilson when you can play a myriad of other 2-drops? So, my suggestion is, if you are the most diehard of ongoing fans, sure, go ahead and get Sam Wilson, because for right now, at least, Captain America, Steve Rogers is ongoing and affects only ongoing cards. And so Sam Wilson will fit right in with your ongoing deck. But I'm pretty sure there's something else you'd rather be playing on too that just works so much better, like a Dazzler or a Mojo. I would rather play either of those two cards than play Sam Wilson. And especially since I want to play Sam and Cap, and fitting both of those two cards in a deck just really limits the deck space. And then you have a 1-drop. Don't even get me started on this 1-drop that sits on the board doing absolutely fuck all if you don't get Sam Wilson. So these are, they feel like lowlights, but we're going to call them highlights. Enjoy. Please like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And do not get these cards.